Thanks for tuning in to Urban Scope Podcast. After watching some WNBA over the last week, I started thinking about the topics that surrounding WNBA and just looking on anytime you look on social media or you look on YouTube and you watch any or see any Angel Reese clips or contents, there is always hatred towards Angel Reese, no matter what the headline is. They can say Angel Reese expecting a new kid. They can say, or uh, they can say Angel Reese, just donated money, and it's going to be haters all in the comments. And it just got me to thinking of why they hate Angel Reese, because sometimes we know you can never do right to some people, no matter what you do, no matter what discoveries you make, what kind of changes you make. Even if you try to change, people say you never change. So there's a lot of people who are just negative in this world, and it just shows you, especially from the social media era, you'll always have that. And one of my biggest videos is like that when I addressed Angel Wilson being better than some NBA players. A lot of people came after me in the comments, and it just gave me a glimpse of what the big guys, the big dogs go through on a daily basis. But I probably won't do any favors to myself after this topic as well. So Angel Reese being the most discussed and criticized player in sports, not just women's sports at WNBA, but just sports period, especially this time around when all the sports on break and there's not a lot of story headlines. She's catching the brunt of all this criticism, but she's doing fabulous on the court, and there's really nothing they can say about it, even though they try to. And of course, all of this started from the taunt that she did to Caitlin Clark in NCAA when, her LSU Tigers went against Iowa, the Hawkeyes. And but the media neglected to tell people that Caitlin Clark did it first. So this is where all this started. And this is all started because the media and pundits wanted, or the leagues, the NCAA and WNBA wanted to create this narrative or create the storyline, but they didn't realize, or they did realize that they were going to create this good versus evil, bad versus good type of deal. So, and when they did this, they knew it was going to create revenue, it's going to create viewership, it's going to create these big TV contracts, the expansion that the league has right now with the upcoming teams through 2030, I believe. They have a Toronto team starting next year. They have a Cleveland, and they have a Detroit team coming up. So they're doing a lot of big things in the WNBA, but it was all at the behest or disadvantage of Angel Reese being the bad guy. Now, Angel Reese addressed this, and she said she'll take on a villain role for the betterment or for the better of women's sports. Now, and this is one couple of reasons why they hate her is because Angel Reese is about her business. She understands it's a business at the end of the day, and it's about making money, and the more money they make, the more money she makes, and she can provide for her family and herself. And she talked about this a lot last year as well. She's smart, she's confident, she's pretty. Um, she is everything that they despise, and especially when you're confident. When you're confident in this world, those people who lack confidence see your confidence as a threat, or they see it as an envy. They see it as you're being cocky or you're being arrogant. But my confidence doesn't have to evoke emotion out of you. My confidence is my confidence. And Angel Reese is, purveying that message. But some people, lack a lot of confidence. And we live in a world where there is a lack of confidence and everybody's okay with it. Just because, you wasn't raised, your parents didn't raise you to be confident, that shouldn't be an indictment against me or anyone else. But that is what the world has come to. And that's why a lot of people despise Angel Reese, because she's confident. She knows who she is. So people try to tell her who she's not, but that's not what the world is about. Everybody's not something. So what does that make you, especially if you take the time to comment on her life, what is going on in your life, So I believe that um, this confidence is seen as a detriment to her from those people who lack confidence and lack structure. But that shouldn't be an issue for her because, like I said, they always talk about the me bounds with her, and she copyrighted that, and now she's making money off of it. So, you're what you poop, what you eat don't make me poop. And she lives by that the most. And she's not credited because they say she's not a scorer and she missed a lot of layups and things like that. But as far as rebounding goes, she's the best rebounder I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of great rebounders. Your Charles Barkley's, your I didn't get to see Dennis Rodman, but I get to see Charles Barkley. I got to see Shaq. I got to see, all of these great rebounders from back in the day. But she's the best rebounder I've seen, male or female. And just to go back a little history in the WNBA, the two highest rebounders per game for a season both belong to Angel Reese. And I believe this year she'll be, create another one. So she'll have the top three spots. She's rebounding ridiculous this year. So regardless of how you think she rebounds, she gets them. If anybody else could do it, they would do it. But of course, she's not trying to miss these layups, but they're trying to create that narrative. It's not like they're saying Caitlin Clark is just shooting up a bunch of threes. And of course, you shoot 30 of them a game, you're going to make 10 of them at least. But they don't say that. So that's the neglect that the media has on this whole spin. But another, well, other than the controversy that was created between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, is the reason they hate her. They hate her because of her confidence and who she is as a person. But also they hate her because she's not the image that they want. A young black female um, talking trash to players, being overconfident or being confident. They don't like that because if any other player was doing that, if we had a Sabrina Ionescu doing it or Breanna Stewart doing it, or if you even had a Paige Beckers doing it, they would be fine with it. But they don't want that image in the league. They wanted her to be the bad guy, and they wanted her to keep doing these things because they keep selling tickets, and it gets the viewership up because people will be there to hate on Angel Reese, similar to what they did to Floyd Mayweather back in a couple of years back and throughout his career. So they want to create that narrative, and they know what the formula is, and that's a part of the formula. Because when you look at a player like Asia Wilson, she's confident, but she's not vocal as much as Angel Reese, or she's not in social media like Angel Reese. But she doesn't get the credit that she's deserved, just for the simple fact of who she is and what she looks like. Because we know Breanna Stewart was in position, and no disrespect to Breanna Stewart, she's one of my favorite WNBA players. Then they would definitely ascend her to new heights, and Caitlin Clark wouldn't have a chance. But unfortunately, Asia Wilson doesn't get that opportunity. Um, and I have a lot of respect for Paige Beckers as well, just a side note, because she addressed the disparity racially with the black female players and how they don't get enough credit and how she supports them. So I'm always going to have a respect for Paige Beckers for that, because she doesn't shy away from those tough discussions, unlike some other players do. That just put the blame on, act like they're oblivious to it. And she recognized that there's a disparity and she addresses it. So that shows her integrity and her character. And she has high integrity and high character. So, and as always, until next time, I'll see you next time.